Where's the cue ball going?
Oh dear, how sad, never mind.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.
That's a bug they need to fix. Whenever you go back to the main game that you're streaming in XSplit at the moment, it has that sort of first attempt to do it, then it doesn't do it, and then if you wait, it just does it. So that's a bug that they need to look at. Anyway, good evening, good afternoon, depending where you are. We are back here on VP4TV for a one-loss side match in the 2024 VP4 Virtual 8-Ball World Championships. We've got REELPOLANDPOWER, who will remain a stub for the rest of the night, up against Spectredawn. One of them's got to go, and Spectredawn's in getting practice. At least he looked as if he was a minute ago. Let me have a quick look. He now is not practicing, or he might be just in away mode, still in a room. No, he isn't. And no sign of stub yet. He's going to do his old delaying tactics, I would think. And also no word from Steve if he's going to be here. I'm hedging my bets he's out in the golf course. And of course we've got no moderators in the lobby to deal with any issues that we might have. So we'll deal with them when we come to them. There was a match earlier on today scheduled, which I never noticed. It was Viking against Casino Jim. Casino Jim decided not to turn up, and Viking got advanced. So that takes care of that match. And on the schedule, we've had a couple of updates to the schedule. We have the match that comes up at the top of the hour. We've got 3 minutes for that to start. Hopefully I'm coming through loud and clear. You'll soon tell me if I'm not. We have Larry and Sergeresh on Saturday at 8 PM. Now, as of tomorrow, I'm going to bore you to death again, but as of tomorrow, I finish my shift at 9:45 tomorrow. It's a short shift, and that's me done. I don't go back until a week on Sunday, so I'll be around to catch as many matches as I can. If Slim wants to do that one tomorrow, I've not got a problem with it at all. If Slim appears and he wants to, he's available unless he's in a tournament, he can do it if he wants. We've got Coldest Pillow and Rabbi, or Rabbi. I think that'll be Rabbi. A rabbi's a Jewish thing, isn't it? So we'll call him Rabbi. Rabbi's R-A-B-I, isn't it? So Rabbi. I'm calling him Rabbi from here on in anyway. They go on Tuesday on the winner's side match. That should be a round 3 match, I would assume now. They're all into round 3. That goes at 7:30 on Tuesday evening. I should be there for that as well. So that takes care of what's on the schedule at the moment. Welcome to Mark. Now, am I going to have to get onto Facebook and get a hold of Stub? Stop him pissing about, if you excuse my expression. I've got Discord open, so I'll have a tab and look in there, but I'm not hedging any bets because I've had no message from Steve. He usually makes a point in telling me that he can do the stream, and he hasn't been in touch, so the assumption is he ain't going to be here. He'll be out golfing. I'll have a quick look. As I thought, no sign of him, and I'll probably tab out again to shut that down because it's one less resource running in the background. So here's my take on this match tonight. The problem with the two of these guys is they're 9-ball minded. That is in their blood, and by that I mean they are unwilling to give up pot and balls, and that could be either of the two of them's downfall tonight. You know, yes, they can pot balls. Yes, they'll do things to try and open up balls. But in terms of ducking, they're very reluctant to be ducking. So look for mistakes happening there. Sticking their neck out far too long when they should be running and hiding, putting their opponent in trouble. I think that's what's going to be the beating of either of them, because we know Stubb can pot. In terms of moving the cue ball and dealing with problems a bit better, I would favour Spectredawn, but it could go either way. But it could go either way for the reasons I've said. They just don't know when to stop potting balls. And 8-ball, as we've seen, you've got to know when to back away from it, bury your opponent, let them bang at balls to try and hit something and maybe break something up for you. I think that's what will beat either of them. And of course, dry breaks, the usual stuff, scratches in the break in particular, controlling the cue ball. So we are at the top of the hour, still no sign of stub. The room is up, so I'm just going to exit Twitch at the moment, and I'll be back with you, and I'm going to get a hold of this little bugger. Hang on. Where is he? Where's Facebook? Hurry up. Okay. You'll understand that. And I'll see if I get any response from it. Or he might actually just show up, you never know. Friday Night 9-ball, of course, is on tonight. I don't think there's that many in it. Slim said he was going to cover it. That looks like second round matches that went up as well, so there's obviously a number of buys with whatever's left in the sign-ups. I'm looking to see if I get a response from him. He might bottle out. I mean, that'd be the most obvious thing Stubb would do for fear of humiliation. He might just bottle it, in which case I've got an early night. He could be using the old delaying tactic. Now I can't properly read the chat at the moment because I don't have Twitch up on my phone at the moment. I'm going to have a quick drink. So he's deliberately not responded to me either. And he's going to time it to the last minute. What time is it anyway? So we've already gone 2 minutes. So we have still no reply. And of course Spectredawn will be sitting in the room just waiting for it to time out. This is exciting, isn't it? So he can't say I didn't remind him. He can't say he's forgot it, because he's got a message, and I don't believe he's the type that doesn't have a phone on his person all the time, where he's going to see that message. And he's arrived. There you go. Let's get in. I'll get back onto Twitch. If I can find it. Where the hell's it going? Right, so we've got the lag, Stubb on the right-hand side. Remember, it's the one lost side. Race tonight. Here we go with the business with the queue again. Now, I wonder how many disconnects and problems we're going to have. Let's see how this pans out. Right, so Spectredawn wins the lag. Excuse me, wins the lag. And I think that was a 5-ball went in. I'm going to do one quick tab here. Hang on a minute, and then I'm going to shut it down. Right, no sign of him. I'm just going to shut Discord down. Hold on. Right, that takes care of that. So off we go. Now this table doesn't look all that bad. I'm looking to see where the major issue might be. Well, there's one other isolated ball. Once this 9 ball goes in, that there's another strike up there in that top half of the table, and then that's it. The concern then is getting onto the 8 ball. Now, the 12 ball's out in the middle of the table. Now, you could pot that in the middle if you got good on it and roll through for the 8 ball. Now, he's not taking that ball up table. So, the problem then is he's got to get back up on that ball up table, whatever ball it is. What the hell is it? Is it the 13 or the 11? It's the 11 ball. So that would be my worry. Eight ball goes into top left, top right, right side pocket. Doesn't go into the left, I don't think. I think the 4 ball's blocking that. And he's blocked into the side pocket. He can't see the one up top. He can't see the one there. So he's already in trouble. Well, good recovery. And he's now on the one up top. Now you can stun and go through the gap or go forward around the corner into the gap, and that'll do it. So now the big test is just getting back out somewhere for that 8 ball once he pots a 14. There's loads of room to get there, so what he can't be doing is leaving himself short somewhere. Well, this is looking like another ideal start here for the person that won the lag. And he's good. He's perfect. And Stubb will immediately be under pressure on his brake. That's how to press the pedal. A brake and a run for Spectredawn. And immediately Stubb's cues disappeared. Here we go. Don't tell me this is me locking up. No, it isn't. I always panic when anything like that happens now. I totally panic. So Stubb breaks off, just hitting the head of the pack. A ball has gone in. You've got 2 balls tied up. What looks like from this distance, the 11 ball and the 7. So this looks thin. Well, he didn't call a bank there for a start. That's the one thing he didn't do. Now, if that ball had gone on the other side, he would have had to miscall that. I don't know whether he tried to bank that and tried to break the 7 and the 11 there. Spectredawn's going to have to deal with that problem. And his problem is he's got the angle. I was wondering whether he had the angle. He's got the angle. He's broke that problem, but created another one. So 13 ball is not very accessible. Let's just say that. Oh, well, another attempt to free it up. He's made it even worse than what it was. Now, like I said, this business of keeping potting balls and keeping trying to get to the problem ball might cost Spectredawn here. And this is, I think, it's just like a drug. They can't stop themselves. They just don't know when to stop. And that's a bad one. That's pretty poor. So Stubb gets a free go here. And this is ball in hand. Now, is he actually paying attention, Stubb? I just get the feeling he's tabbed out. Right, he has finally decided to move, so he's going to deal with his problem ball. And he might do well to hold for that 4 ball while he's at it. So it's all down to the line that he's playing this 7 ball from as to whether he's going to hold for the 4. Because if he doesn't deal with that 4 now, he's probably in Stook. Because then he's got to get good on maybe the 1 ball to stun across. He's nipping back. And he's got the angle. Well, he's got the pot. He's got a slight angle. So he's dealing with a trouble situation there. And maybe Spectredawn should have looked at maybe ducking a bit earlier rather than ending up making a mistake. Stubb now take the 6, the 2. He needs to get out good for this 3. Well, he's going to take the 3, and he's now got to get the cue ball out clean. One ball's the ball, obviously. He's going to be playing to get onto the 8. And that's fine. Just a little nip back. Now, overhit it if anything, but don't leave it square. That's the rule. Well, oops. He's left it off square. Still expect him to get it. You want to really be staring down the barrel, but there you go. You know, what did I tell you? If you leave it off, you know, squarish or just off square like that, there's always a doubt. And there is a glaring opportunity thrown away there by Stubb. And that's how he's also going to lose, because he's not. I mean, what's the obvious thing you do with that 8 ball? When you're drawn off the 1, if anything, you overhit it slightly. And you open up the angle more, and it's a much easier 8 ball. And he didn't do it. And he's going to pay the price because of that. And that is letting Spectredawn off the hook. So there's the first lesson learned by Stubb. Deal with the situation and get the job done. And that's a big fail. Well, that's another. This is a bedhead cut. But 9 times out of 10, most times, Spectredawn's going to nail these without a problem. And so Stubb, victim of his own mistake, now 2-0 behind. And he says luck and bullshit. Well, I don't know where the luck is, but I know where the bullshit is. We just... And Spectredawn breaks in rack number 3. He's got a ball, but there's a mess. A proper mess up top. So we'll let this unfold. Was it cold in Scotland today? No, it wasn't actually that bad. It was just there's a front threatening to move in. It's going to eventually move in. And there's been the odd spit of rain and the breeze, but it wasn't that bad. But it will get worse tomorrow and then into Sunday. Bearing in mind, all I'm doing is getting out of the house, getting into the car, going to work, getting out of the house, into the store, coming out of the store, getting into the car, coming home, getting out of the car, getting into the house. So I'm hardly out. I'm only out for like a minute at a time. But it wasn't cold. But let's also say it wasn't a heat wave, and we won't see any any high temperatures now until next April, May. Well, the little bump does the trick. Now, he's not sitting good though. He's freed up the 7. The 6 ball doesn't go. Now, what's he contemplating here? I thought for a minute there he was contemplating some far-fetched long combo. Well, he should know not to, because it cost him 1,000 V dollars, and I'll make sure it costs him another 1,000 V dollars if he does do it. We'll have video evidence of it. Well, that was a good cut. But now, Spectredawn's in trouble. Again, likewise, Spectredawn's got a really, really thin cut that he would have to blast to try and thin that 1 ball in. It's such a high angle on it. And now he's wondering what can he do to try and get out of this. Well, he's not left anything simple, and that's a good play. I mean, he's left a long 15 ball. I think he was hoping to actually nip in behind the 10 and use that as cover. So here's Stubb under pressure again with a table that is not dead set, because the 6 ball's a blocker down into this corner pocket here on the right for that, whatever it is, the 11 ball up there or the 13 ball it might next to the 4. And it doesn't go into the top corner. So there's a situation for Stubb to try and get into right now. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get down there to move something. And that's why he's thumped it and missed the 11. So there's another glaring mistake by Stubb. You don't have to wait long before Stubb makes his mistake. If anything, he hit that far too hard. He just needed a good bit of top on it and stroke the ball into the pocket. But he blasted it. And can consider himself lucky where he's left the cue ball, let's be honest. Now, that missed call from Stubb and that being a foul, being a missed call, no, so I presume in this game you don't get the option to put your opponent back in, but not obviously he would do it. And now Spectredawn has run out his shot clock, so he's not paying attention either. And Stubb's been given a gift here. Well, that's the first bit of glaring numptiness from Spectredawn. He's not paying attention to the clock. And Stubb better get out here, because he's been gifted this in a plate. Well, that's a huge boo-boo by Spectredawn, letting the clock run out. Thinking about the shot far too long. And Stubb should never have had this rack. And also the break goes back to Stubb. Is that getting there? Just. Oh dear, cue ball's gone. Another disaster. He's made a boo-boo in every rack so far, Stubb. Now that those two aren't dead set. He's tried a little bump, got them free. And the other problem isn't really a problem if you could just dink into that short area to get to the 2. So that's going to be tricky. Now he's going for the thin cut and a bump again here. Well, he's freed it up, but it's still going to be an awkward space to get into for that 2. It does go down into this corner here, past the 8 ball. But the angle he's got in the 4 is far too high. Now he could take the 3 and get there. In fact, if that's me, I've got to go for the 3 and play a 2 in 1 shot. If I don't get good in the 2, I've still got the 4 I can bail out on. So he's got to try and get right up top above the 2. Well, he hasn't. He's going to leave the cut, is he? Oh, I don't like this. If that was me, I would have hit that harder and stunned across and tried to get above the 2 rather than sort of no man's land, but he's got there. So the gap goes back to 2. And that, of course, was on Stubbs' break, so this could be a big move here for Spectredawn. If he can get good. And he ain't getting anything, he's dry. But again, Stubbs going to be banging balls fairly soon here. Because you've got the mess up top. Well, that wasn't banged, that was actually played a bit more controlled. So, Stubb on the solids. He's got the 2 into the side. You've got the 3 isolated down here behind the 14. So the 3 ball is a wee bit tricky. It wouldn't be that bad if you were on the 5 into the side, but he's far from that at the moment. So, and don't forget he's got the 6 ball nailed to the rail up top side. Well, that's neither here nor there where he's got. And he's getting into trouble here. Now he's got to miss the bump on that, whatever it is, the 11 ball in the middle of the table there when he cuts this 7. Oh, now he has bumped it. I think it's done him a favour in terms of getting on the 5 ball. He's struggling here. Well, he's taking the 3 instead. He's got to get into the cue ball to get out of there. Well, this is going to be a blast. It does thin cut into the side, but the cue ball's going all over the place. It's very difficult to control this, and he'll do well to avoid traffic trying to get up and down. Up and down and up, sorry. Well, he's run into the 6. Well, that's unlucky. And now he's got nowhere to hide. Well, that is really poor. That is so bad. He's got a touch like a sledgehammer. Look at that, how he just freed up the 15 ball when he should just roll dead onto that and never moved the 6. That's a terrible shot. But that's what happens when you don't get table time. He doesn't play a lot at all, and you can't just, I mean, it's not like riding a bike. You've got to get that table time and get that touch. And, well, every rack he's made a boo-boo. And he's only got 1 rack in the board because Spectredawn made a right boo-boo. So Stubbs making the errors far too often, far too regular, and at the wrong time. Well, all Spectredawn is just have to mind his own business. That's all he has to do for the rest of this match. Well, going to be a comfortable evening if Stubb doesn't get his act together. I think Spectre's got a very slight angle in this night. In fact, he's got such a shallow angle he could just drop through dead. So now it's going to go 4 racks to 1. VP4 is for Noobsa. Well, Stubbs in the right place then. And Spectredawn's doing the right thing if he does have the chat open. That he's not giving any response. He's not getting involved. He shouldn't be letting himself get distracted. And the break went back to Stubb, and he's come up dry, which is just another thing on the list that you don't want to happen when you're 4-1 down. Spectre on the solids, so you've got 2 stripes tied up, and I'm looking at this table to see where the problem is, and I can't really see one. I think this is going to be 5-1. All Spectredawn has to do is just get the cue ball into the spot. I'm reading the chat here, Candy Crush. It's amazing how Stubb manages to blank out all the howling errors he's making, especially that last one he made, where he's supposed to roll on to the 6, and all he did was free up the 15 ball for, or whatever ball it was, free up his ball rather than trying to, he tried to tie it up, but he might as well have hit it with a brick, because he would have got probably more control with a brick than he did playing that with the cue. And staring at 5-1. Well, Spectre's just the wrong side of the 3 a bit too much here. And he might have to check this 3 ball big time. I don't know whether he can even do that and still get across the table. Let's have a look. Yes, I think he can. I think he can get a good bit of left English in this and just try and get inside. Go over here. No, he's trying to... That's fine, he's comfortable there, and that'll do it. Just a roll in the 8. And have you noticed that all the stuff that Stubbs typing all pertains to him? He's making out that it's Spectredawn, but it's actually him. he's needing luck to stay in this match, because he's not doing it right. Hence why he's 5-1 behind. Yeah, I put Stubb back to the USA because he's writing in capital letters. The deal was the last time, yes, I would put it back to his appointed country that he wants to represent, provided he get rid of the caps, but he's back to them, so he's from the USA, which is right enough. So Spectredawn's break has given him a ball, and he's freed up his 5 ball. which he can take right now. I think the danger with taking the 5-ball is, though, he's probably not going to take it, because the danger is that he's going to push that either 11 or 13 ball, whatever it is, next to it, and might push it onto the 4 or the 7 and kill them. So he's done the right thing there, not doing that. And he can still get to the 5 up into the top corner pocket off the 3. You've got the 1 and the 6 down here on the left-hand side. And if he got straight on that 5, he can just roll through and play the 8 into the side. Thing is he could also go on the 7 for his last ball to get to that 8. But he's now going to take the 7. But there's loads of room on the left side of the table to bring the cue ball up and take that 8 into the top right. But he must have the angle to do that, though. Now, don't forget, if you want to catch up what's happening in Friday Night 9-ball, Slim's doing that live right now on his Twitch channel. Because when I'm done here, I'm off for a coffee and then I'm off to bed. Well, he's got the angle. He just doesn't want to run any further. Well, now we're taking bets on whether Stubb's going to win another rack. That would be fairly humiliating, a 9-1 defeat. Well, it's 6-1. And once again, Stubb is dry. Well, if you're thinking in the solids, you've got to take the 4, then the 1, because everything else is up top. And this rack is over. I'm saying that right now. This rack is done. All the remaining solids are all up top. Where can this go wrong? Well, he may well play the combo. That combo's stone dead. Yeah, that's what he's going to do. Now, he's just got to be careful that the 6-ball doesn't finish funny here. If that 6-ball goes right onto the jaw, no, he's perfect. Absolutely. That's the only way it could possibly go wrong, was playing the combo and the 6-ball going funny. Well, I suppose if Stubb looks on the bright side, he's got the rest of the afternoon off after this. Unless there's a major turnaround here, i.e. Spectredawn has to start falling apart and doing lots of numpty stuff, and Stubb has to keep getting balls in the break and running out and taking advantage of any numpty stuff that Spectredawn might do, which is highly unlikely, other than letting the shot clock count down. Well, this is going to be a roasting, the way it's looking at the moment. And we are 34 minutes into the match. Yeah, we sell that Machu Picchu stuff. We do, is it Red Hot Lava or something it's called as well? We do goodness knows how many coffees. We've got an aisle full of coffees and teas. You know, teas with things floating in the top of them when you're... Oh, I wouldn't have any of that stuff. You know, mint tea, all sorts of bloody tea. Well, Stubb just banging away and hoping. He's on the solids. and got problems. And again, he's banging balls really when he doesn't need to. And in fact, he's making more problems for himself doing it. He's now got the 3 ball awkward. Now that 2 ball could have been got at, but it's blocked by the 14 anyway, and I don't think you can squeeze that 2 past the 14. Maybe you can. It looks awful tight, but that's the least of his worries. He's got himself in the mire here already. And he's trying to squeeze this 3 ball in, is he? Aye, it'll go. It will go off the jaw, but he can't touch any of that 14 ball. Oh, and he's decided to leave the building. Oh, and he's back. This might be the start of it. No, he's decided to take the 14. Well, I think from where he was sitting, that 3 ball does go. And he's left it where it is, and that could be a mistake. Now he's trying for a bump, and he's missed the bump. Now, I'm sure if he played that softer, he could have got the hit. Now he's in dire straits. The 3 ball still goes, and now he's having to cut it from an ugly angle. This is doomed to disaster. This is going to have to be a good shot. Look at where he's sitting trying to play this. I mean, it's bad enough looking straight at it with the cue ball and trying to squeeze past that 14. And that's the inevitable was going to happen, wasn't it? So, I mean, there's lesser players than Stubb have played a lot better than this in this tournament so far. And some of them have went to the one-loss side. This is awful. The approach that he's got. Just uncontrolled banging that he's doing. Spectredawn's still got work to do though. And I don't think the 9 gets past the 3. Well, it does, but it's tight. He's bumped to 10, and that's tight as well. He could still bail out in the 15. Now, if he bails out in the 15 and he goes left spin into the rail and round to here, he could end up hooking himself, but it's one way of getting himself across here. He could do that. He's looking at the 9, but I think he could cut the 15. Now he's bumped to 10. And, well, he's still got a pot, but it's just threatening to go wrong. And that's problem solved. And in less than 40 minutes, Spectredawn is going to be on the hill. Well, Stubbs getting a better roasting than those Machu Picchu coffee beans will get looking at this result. I think that's a good analogy. He is getting toasted. Well, this is last chance saloon to get a break in the ball. And he's got a couple of balls. 2 solids have gone in, the 4 and the 7. And he's looking at stripes instead. Well, the stripes all have pockets. Those top solid balls were a wee bit of a problem where the stripes were, so he's probably done the right thing taking the stripes. And you see again, he's running the cue ball, and look at that. I mean, that's worth a replay. You know, how to shoot yourself in the foot. Unnecessary movement of the cue ball like that, uncontrolled. And sayonara, hasta la vista, fat lady singing, game, set and match. Well, if ever you can do numpty stuff, this has been an exhibition match, because Stubb has banged at balls, trying to do things, and that's his last shot in the tournament right there, you've just seen. And that's exactly it. He only got the one rack because Spectredawn was a numpty for a matter of 30 seconds when he let the shot clock run down. I mean, it had to be a gift on a plate before Stubb could win a rack. So this is his worst performance I've ever seen. And it's not that Spectredawn's been spectacular, he's just playing as he normally plays. You know, if there's balls there to be potted, he's going to get them most of the time. And Stubb's not been at the races. He didn't even get out the start. In fact, the horses have bolted and he's still wandering around in the paddock. And now we've got a whole torrent of abuse. Screw Stubb out of winning a potential championship. Stubb has no interest in this shit. F all of you guys for that, and those who agreed to it. Dear. Oh yes, this is embarrassing. But that's what happens when you don't play the game. You've not got the table time, you've not got the touch, you've not got the comfort zone or the control of what you're doing. It's all been uncontrolled really from Stubb. And the fat lady is into the second verse. It's the easiest win that Spectredawn's going to get in this tournament. And he's gone. He's left the building again. Another $1,000 fine. What a sucker. And he's bailed out and gone. And poor old Spectredawn has to sit there for the 5 minutes for it to time out. So while that's happening, let's have a look at the bracket now that Stubb has left the building. So it's cost him $2,000, at least it will do it. In fact, it cost him $2,300 to play in this tournament. and he's not in the money. He's not in the money, so it's been the most expensive tournament Stubb's ever played in. So Spectredawn goes through. He will play the winner of Popman and Balls. So Spectredawn, I mean, I don't know how Balls plays. I know that Popman likes a game of 8-ball. And in fact, I think Popman's got the capabilities of actually giving Spectredawn a better game than Stubb did, with the greatest respect to Balls, because I don't know how he plays. There's that match that Casino Jim forfeited earlier today. So if we look at the bracket on the winner's side, we've got Rabi and Coldest Pillow, they're set to go. We've got Defty and Cobra still to organise it, their third round match. We've got Bedhead, who went through very solidly against MC Clarkey. A very good win for Bedhead there. He's in round 4 and he's waiting on the result of Hazard and Albinario, and they've got until October the 11th to organise their match. So that's where they stand. And finally, the schedule shows the matches remaining. Larry and Sergeresh tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, and Coldest Pillow and Rabi, which is going to be Tuesday, 7:30 British Summer Time. So we've got that in video. Stubb bailing out again. Can't face up like a man, but that's what he's like. Oh, Ball's favourite, is he? Maybe he's a good 8-baller. I've never seen him play. Well, we'll find out. So that was, well, let's be honest, it wasn't even 45 minutes. It was less than that. Bear in mind it was only a race to 9. But I think the fact that it was only a race to 9 did Stubb a favour, because it could have been 11-1. That would have been the only difference. So that's it, folks. It's all over. Comfortable win for Spectredawn. He marches on, and Stubb's gone away to smack his head against the nearest solid object because he's embarrassed. And he did everything you could do wrong, he did, for the most part. And that final scratch is his lasting memory for this year's 2024 Virtual 8-Ball World Championship. Spectredawn should still be embarrassed at letting the shot clock down and actually giving Stubb a rack for that, because it could have been 9-0. That's the old tennis analogy, the bagel. Anyway, thanks for joining, folks. It wasn't really that enjoyable, was it? It was for Spectredawn, but it wasn't really enjoyable as a match because of how Stubb played. But I don't think he's ever going to win one of these now. I think he's not making time to actually get practice. He's busy doing other things, I believe, whatever they might be. And if you don't put the table time in, you can't come in and win these, really, apart from Albinario, that is. He seems to do it. In fact, he plays as often as Stubb does, put it that way. But the difference with Albinario is he does most things right, and Stubb does it the other way. Right, so take care. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. Hop over to, in fact, talking about Friday night 9-ball, let's have a quick look at the bracket. How many did he get in? Well, they got 10 in, which isn't bad. As I say, Spectredawn. In fact, if Spectredawn had actually signed up, he could have still probably got to the final through the one-loss side. You've got Coldest Pillow into round 2. Larry's through to round 3. You've got Bankster playing Quagmire at the moment. Bankster 4-0 up, so he looks comfortable there. You've got Slim waiting in the winner of that. So nip over to One Pocket Slim's channel on Twitch, and you can follow the rest of Friday night 9-ball. But that's it from me, folks. I will bid you good night, and we'll see you again soon. Rogue One.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.